Hi, welcome back, and thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you choosing to spend a few minutes of your time with this video. As we step into 2026, a lot of people want a fresh start. But if you look around your home and feel more overwhelmed than motivated, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because there's simply too much in your space. And that clutter doesn't just take up room, it takes up mental energy too. In this video, I'm not going to show you how to clean more or chase a perfect home. Instead, I'll share clear, practical ways to reset your space without buying anything new or spending the entire day cleaning. These are small decisions you can actually apply right after you finish watching. We'll go through 12 simple, realistic ways to reset your home so it feels lighter and easier to live in. And hopefully, as 2026 begins, your space won't feel like something you have to fight against. Let's get started. When you decide to reset your home, the first thing that usually goes wrong is trying to fix everything at once. You look around, see every room, every pile, every unfinished mess, and before you even start, you already feel tired. So we're not doing that. Instead, choose one surface, just one, not an entire room, not a category, a surface you see every day, your dining table, the kitchen counter, the entry console. Once you choose it, clear everything off. Not neatly, not carefully, just remove it. As you take things away, don't organize yet. Ask only one question. Does this actually belong on this surface? If the answer is no, it leaves. It either goes where it truly belongs or waits somewhere else for a decision later. The point here isn't to solve everything. The point is to create absence. When that surface is completely clear, stop. Don't move on to the next one. Take a moment and notice how the space feels different. One clear surface already changes the rhythm of your home. It gives you a visible win without draining your energy, and it proves that resetting your space doesn't require hours of cleaning. It requires one clear, intentional decision. Now that you've created that first bit of breathing room, let's move on to the habit that quietly brings clutter right back, even after a space looks reset. After you clear one surface, this is usually what happens next. Things slowly start coming back. Not because you're messy, but because of one quiet habit setting things down just for now. A bag on the chair, papers on the counter, something you'll deal with later. And later never really comes. So here's the rule for this reset. If an item doesn't have a clear place, it doesn't get set down. No temporary spots, no, I'll fix this later. The moment something is in your hand, you decide where it actually lives. If you don't know where it belongs, that's already an answer. It either needs a real home or it doesn't need to stay. Temporary placement is how clutter sneaks back in one small decision at a time. This isn't about being strict. It's about cutting off clutter at the entry point. When you stop allowing just for now surfaces, stay clear without extra effort. And once you remove temporary clutter, the next step is making sure each room supports what you actually do in it, not everything you own. Once you stop clutter from creeping back onto your surfaces, the next problem shows up at a room level. Most rooms don't feel heavy because they're dirty. They feel heavy because they're trying to do too many jobs at once. So, take one room and ask a simple question. What is this room mainly for right now? Sleeping, cooking, relaxing, getting out the door. Just one primary purpose. Then look around and notice what doesn't support that purpose. Clothes piling up in the bedroom that turn it into a storage space. Work papers living in the living room. Random items sitting there simply because there was space. Those things don't belong to the room even if they belong to you. You don't have to deal with them perfectly today, just remove them from that room. When a room is only doing one job, it becomes easier to keep up without constant resetting. And once rooms stop carrying extra weight, the next shift is about when you reset, because timing matters more than most people think. A lot of people try to reset their home at the end of the day when everything is finally quiet. It sounds logical, but it rarely works. By that point, your energy is gone, your patience is thin, and every decision feels heavier than it needs to be. Instead, pay attention to when you have the most mental clarity. For many people, it's earlier in the day or right after coming home from being out for a bit. That's when decisions feel simpler and you're less likely to keep things just because you're too tired to think. Use that window to do short resets, clearing a surface, returning a few items, removing things that don't belong. You're not doing more work. You're doing the same work at a better time. When you reset your space with enough energy, you make clearer decisions. And those clearer decisions lead directly into the next step, only keeping things you can actually picture yourself using. At this point, your space is already feeling lighter. Now it's time to make sure it stays that way. One of the easiest ways clutter lingers is keeping things just in case without ever imagining when they'll actually be used. So when you pick something up, pause for a second and ask yourself, when is the next time I will realistically use this? Not someday. Not in a perfect version of your life. In your real current routine. If you can picture a specific moment where you are what you're doing, why you need it, then it earns its place. If the answer is vague or hard to picture, that item is probably already done serving you. This isn't about being harsh, it's about being honest. Clarity beats potential every time. And once you start keeping only what fits into your real life, the next step is learning how to leave space on purpose instead of filling every empty spot just because it's there. Once you start making clearer decisions about what stays, there's a natural urge to fill the empty spots again. A shelf looks bare, a drawer isn't full, and the instinct is to fix that. But this is where many resets quietly undo themselves. Empty space is not a problem, it's a buffer. It gives your home room to handle daily life without tipping back into chaos. So choose one place, a drawer, a shelf, a corner of a countertop, and decide that it will stay intentionally empty. This space is there for real-life items you're using temporarily, things that come in and out moments when you don't have time to be perfect. When there's no buffer, every small thing turns into clutter. Leaving space on purpose is what keeps your home functional, not fragile. And now that your space has room to breathe, the next step is making sure you don't undo all this progress by buying your way out of discomfort. After you create space, it's very tempting to finish the reset by buying organizers, bins, or storage solutions. It feels productive. It feels like you're locking in the progress. But most of the time, this is where clutter simply changes shape. For now, pause all purchases meant to fix your space. Work only with what you already have. If something doesn't fit, that's not a sign you need a better container. It's a sign you might be keeping too much. Give your home time to settle before adding anything new. Living in the space for a bit will show you what actually needs support and what disappears once the excess is gone. A reset that depends on buying something isn't stable. And if you've ever wondered why clutter keeps coming back, even when you feel like you're doing everything right, that's something I'll talk about more in the next video. For now, the next step is building a rhythm that keeps things from piling up again. Keeping a reset going doesn't require long cleaning sessions. It requires a small, repeatable action that fits into real life. So instead of trying to tidy everything, choose one simple rule before the day ends. Return 5 items to where they belong. Not more, just 5. Shoes back to the rack, a cup to the sink, a book to the shelf. Stop as soon as you reach 5, even if there's more you could do. This works because it keeps clutter from accumulating without turning into a chore you avoid. 5 items are easy to handle even on tired days. Over time, this habit quietly maintains the space you work to create. And once you have a rhythm that keeps things moving back into place, the next step is setting clearer boundaries around what stays and what doesn't. At this stage, the clutter that remains is usually subtle. These are the items you don't love, don't use often, but keep because they might come in handy someday. And over time, those maybes quietly take over your space. So here's a clearer boundary. If something hasn't been used in the last 6 months and you don't have a specific plan for when it will be used next, it doesn't need to stay. Just in case is not a plan, it's hesitation. This doesn't mean throwing everything away. It means trusting that your home should support how you live now, not every possible version of your life. Letting go of maybe items is what keeps your space aligned with the present. And once you draw that line, the final step is shifting how you think about resetting your home in the first place. At this point, your home might already look better, but that's not the goal. The real question now is whether it's easier to live in day after day. So look at your space and notice what adds friction. Too many steps to put something away, too many decisions for simple tasks, too many items competing for the same spot. Even if it looks fine, if it slows you down, it's not working. Adjust for ease, not appearance, fewer steps, fewer rules, fewer things to manage. This is how a reset becomes sustainable, not because it looks good, but because it asks less of you. And once your home stops demanding constant effort, the next shift is about how you handle things that enter your space in the first place. Clutter doesn't only come from the things you already own. Very often it starts with what enters your home without a clear plan. Packages placed on the floor, groceries left on the counter, paperwork stacked for later, small random items with no clear destination. On their own, they don't look like a problem, but together they slowly create one. So instead of focusing on decluttering more, set one simple rule for anything new that comes into your home. Every item must get a decision within 24 hours. Not organized, not sorted perfectly, just decided. You're answering one question: does this stay? Does it move to its proper place, or does it leave? This rule matters because items left undecided don't stay neutral. They blend into existing clutter and become harder to deal with over time. A box on the floor turns into a pile. A paper on the counter becomes a stack. And suddenly you're cleaning around things instead of moving them out of the way. When new items are decided quickly, your space stays clearer without extra effort. You're not constantly resetting, you're preventing buildup at the source. And once new things stop piling up unnoticed, the last step is learning how to revisit your space regularly without turning every reset into a big restart. This is the last shift, and it's the one that makes everything else stick. One of the biggest reasons people feel discouraged about their homes is the belief that a reset is supposed to fix everything, that once you've reset things, should stay fine. When that doesn't happen, it feels like failure. And that pressure is exactly what leads to burnout. Instead of treating a reset as a fresh start, think of it as a check-in. A quiet pause where you look around and ask, what's no longer working right now? Not last year, not in an ideal version of your life. Right now. These check-ins don't need to be big. They can be 5 minutes. One drawer, one surface, one small adjustment. You're not starting over, you're correcting direction. A home that stays light isn't one that's constantly being reset from scratch. It's one that's adjusted gently. As life shifts, routines change, and seasons move on. That's how these habits last, not through motivation or willpower, but through rhythm. If there's one thing I hope you take from this video, it's this: resetting your home doesn't require a dramatic overhaul. It happens through small, intentional decisions made consistently in a space you actually live in, not an ideal version of it. You don't need to do all 10 tips at once. Even choosing one and applying it today is enough to change how your home feels. Less pressure, less noise, less effort just to get through the day. As you move through 2026, let your home work with you, not against you. And if you notice that clutter has a way of quietly returning even after resets like this, it's usually not about effort. It's about something deeper we rarely look at. That's where we'll go next. For now, let your space settle and carry this lighter rhythm into your everyday life.